You know, when I first, I was talking with somebody outside the break about other places I'd lived before I lived in Houston, and I sort of moved around between different sets of grandparents and great aunts and uncles that raised me, and when I was a kid, I had a set of great aunts and uncles that helped me in Texas. And, I always loved Texas as a kid, and I always wanted to be able to go back there. And so as soon as I could escape the wrenches of misery, I went to Texas and found even more. When I got there, I suppose, to live, to finally stay there, where I made the decision that I was going to stay in Texas. The summer of love was gone, and all the tie-dyed stuff was, we're putting it away. But in Houston, they were hanging on there, and there was a place in Houston, Herman Park, which was called Hippie Hill. And then I got there in 68 or 69, and there were people, reason I was drawn to the circle that was outside, the story reminded me of it. When I got there, I was living, I didn't have a job yet, and I was trying to work peak load and all that kind of business, but hair down to here, and I went to Herman Park, to Hippie Hill, and I noticed all these people in these long, flowing, tie-dyed gowns and shirts, and cut-off jeans, barefoot, and they were all holding hands, and they were drinking. It was like 120 degrees in Houston at that time in the summer, and they were all drinking this cheap Paisano wine out of those gallon jugs, that old Paisano sweet wine. Ooh. And they would all hold hands and drink that wine, and they would dance around in circles in their tie-dyed stuff. And I looked at them and I said, I could do that. I mean, you know, if I put my mind to it, I could do that. So I did. I found enough money to get myself a little tent, and I had somebody tie-dye it for me and spray paint it. And I lived right over by the duck pond, where, you know, every city park has a duck pond in it, doesn't it? And it's got a little railroad train that comes through it, and then usually on the front end of the railroad train, on the engine, is a very red-faced, overweight, very drunk, angry man. And then there's all these sunburned kids riding around in the back of it, and they're not very happy, and their parents are also not very happy. And so I would sit there in my little hovel by the duck pond and do various chemical combinations, and enough to make myself happy enough to wave at them, and the kids just wave back, you know. It's just pretty cool. Well, as I said, I was living next to the duck pond, and didn't have a job yet. Well, you know, here in America, I don't know of any other country that does it, but in America, I don't think it's legal anymore, but back in those days, around Easter time, people would take these little chickens, these little chicks, and ducks, and they would dip them in dye, and the next thing you knew, you had a little green duck, you had a little purple duck, you had a little orange duck. And they're just the cutest little things you've ever seen in your life. You know, and just go down to the feed store and get yourself an orange duck, you know, and the next thing you know, your parents bring it home for you, and they are just really cute, and they put them in a little wading pool out in the backyard, and then 6 weeks later, the damn thing is that long and no longer orange or pink. And then, I don't know, but at some point your father or your grandfather or somebody comes home and looks at the backyard and said, these things shit like ducks, man. Have you seen the yard? So under the cloak of darkness, while you're at home, safe tucked away in bed, with your little hop-along Cassidy, pajamas on with the feet in them, under the cloak of darkness, your grandparents or your parents will go out to the backyard and take the duck down to the city park. And that's where they live the rest of their poor lives. Eating white bread, which is probably one of the worst things that you could ever feed a duck, really. But all of us kids would go down, and I was probably feeding my own duck, I don't know. But you go down and throw this Wonder Bread out there, and poor duck is having to eat this Wonder Bread, and it's one of the worst things you could possibly ever do for him. But to make a long story at least slightly interesting, it's where I learned how to cook duck. Well, there were just so many of them. Even the vegetarian hippies that came by had a little taste of duck.
Was it orange duck?
It's a damn old white duck. So anyway, I kind of got myself in trouble because what I've only given my kids one piece of advice in their life. I have 2 children. I've only given them one piece of advice, and it's this: is that every time that you think you've got it made, the cops show up. Keep that in mind. Well, they've done very well with it, really. So the cops come and bust my little hovel and tell me that I can't live there anymore. And they says, well, how come the rest of these guys get to live here and I have to leave? And the cop looks at me and he said, duck feathers. Think about it. When the wind blows up, and the old fat man that's running around on the engine on the kitchen, with the feathers sticking to his face, he's having to pull them off. It's quite a horrible experience. So at that point in my life, I've learned one lesson that I've never forgotten, and that is always dispose of any evidence. Don't leave duck feathers laying around in piles. Make pillows out of them in New Vermont. So anyway, they told me I had to leave, and I said, where am I going? They said, well, you're either going to jail, or you can go down to the San Jacinto Mission House on San Jacinto Street. And that's where I went. And that's where I met some of the first people that I actually ever wanted to sit down and have a meaningful conversation with. Was in that mission. And this is one of the first, I guess this is probably the first song that I ever wrote when I came to Texas. This one here. Didn't realize what a child I was when I was struck dumb by the wisdom of others. Character, carnage, play this song called Mission Door here. Rock of Ages, baby. Now through Mission Door, winos sing hymns for the supper, and blind Sally talks back to the preacher. She said, I can't tell one sin from the other. Puts her hand on the Bible, tears in her eyes, kneel on the corn, pray for more wine. Well, it's beans and it's bread and it's a small price to pay. Oh, hands and go dance, hands and go dance, hands and go dance on the old devil's grave. Well, the night falls through the mission room. Get a cot with a blanket. Don't you spit on my floor. You know, Sister Teresa, she's friends with the Lord. No smoking in bed, no sleeping late in the morning. Put your hands on the Bible, tears in your eyes, kneel on the corner, pray for more wine. Well, it's beans and it's bread, there's a small price to pay. Hold hands and go dance, hands and go dance, hands and go dancing on the old devil's grave. Now look coming through that mission door. It's Tokay Sal and his best friend Dollar Bill High. I ain't really a preacher. I'm Tommy the Frenchman, and I like Lucky Strikes and Jesus and wine. I put my hands on the Bible, tears in my eyes, I kneel on the corner and I pray for more wine. It's beans and it's bread and it's a small price to pay. To hold hands and go dance, hands and go dance. Hands and go dancing on the old devil's grave. Now when you leave out through that mission door, if you got any money, boy, you better keep it down in your shoe. 'Cause every hard love story from Houston to hell ain't worth 25 cents towards hugging the moon, that moon. Oh, that moon, you put your hands on the Bible, tears in your eyes, kneel on the corner, pray for more wine. Well, it's beans and it's bread, it's a small price to pay to hold hands and go dancing, hands and go dancing, hands and go dancing had a friend from New Hampshire. His name was Bill Morrissey. Great songwriter. If you've never heard Bill Morrissey's songs, shame on you. No, it was great. He was a wonderful songwriter and also just a wonderful person. He was also one of those people that just couldn't let go, you know? Just couldn't let it go. Anyway, Mission Door was one of his favorite songs that I wrote that Bill liked very much. Bill struggled with large amounts of drink. Many times people had tried to save his life and came close. Never took. Bill and I, when we were kids, trying to get started down in the South, Bill wanted to come down to the South to play. And I said, what the hell, man? I thought, the people up there in New Hampshire had it made, You want to come down here for it. And Bill had that little voice just was kind of like that. When Bill was 17 years old, he sounded like an old man when he talked. He said, I don't care. Anyway, so we played this place in a place called Dalton, Georgia. First time he went in, it was quite an unusual place in this day. It was all flat black painted on the outside, and the name of it was the Scorpion Lounge. It seems like there was this man from Greenwich Village that came down to Dalton, Georgia to try to start a folk club down there. It wasn't very successful. But we asked him, Bill and I, cautiously asked him, how'd you ever come up with the name Scorpion Lounge for a folk club in Dalton, Georgia? He sounded kind of like Dave Van Ronk when he talked. He says, hold on. Let me tell you something. I had enough money to buy the place, okay? I didn't have enough money to paint it, and I didn't have enough money to change the signage. Now, do you want to play here or not? And of course we said, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, I love the paint. Bill was on his last tour. He spent some time in Tennessee and was going to Atlanta, Georgia, to play at Eddie's Attic in Decatur. And he stopped at the same old Fleabag hotel that we used to stay in down there. And he went to sleep. This is a song called Bill. It's on the Studio 10 record. That's very for sale. And my friend Bill, I'll have a drink, bless his heart. Probably wasn't a more loving person in the whole world. Play this song here called Bill. It's a small town. It's a small town. It's got a four-way stop. It's got one way out. Well, you can call her graceful. You can call her love. But who is this girl I've been thinking of? Boys, who is this girl I've been thinking of? Well, Canadian whiskey, cowboy ride, ought to stop drinking, but I don't know why. You see, I've been through this town before. It's got a four-way stop. It's got a liquor store. You see it up on the right there, Eric. You can take this exit here and go to the top of the exit, take a right there. Then you go down about 2 blocks, there'll be this blinking arrow that says liquor store, liquor store, liquor store. You remember that, Eric? Remember it, Eric? Yeah. Remember it? I'm leaving out of New Hampshire and I'm going down towards Tennessee. Few of my songs for some friends of me. And I got caught in the middle of this hobo fight. Yeah, it's one of them things that'll keep you up all night. It's one of them things, see, that'll keep you up all night. But Canadian whiskey and cowboy ride, I'll stop drinking, but I don't know why. You see, I've been through this town before. It's got a four-way stop. It's got a liquor store. They're gonna miss me down Atlanta come Friday night. I was gonna play 'em all strong, boys. I was gonna play 'em all right. Gonna miss me down Atlanta Friday night. I was gonna play 'em strong. See, I was gonna play 'em all. But it's a small town. It's a small town. It's got a four-way stop. It's got a one-way out. I got one more song, boys, and I'm almost home, boy. I'm going down to Dalton, Georgia. And I'm gone. And I'm gone, boy. And I'm gone. Well, Canadian whiskey and cowboy ride, ought to stop drinking. But I don't know why. and I'm gone. Bill. Oh, thanks, y'all. Bill and I wanted to grow up to be artists. And we realized somewhere around Dawson, Georgia, I guess, that we probably weren't going to be artists. We were going to be carnies. We were going to be knife throwers and fire eaters and sword swallowers, jugglers and such. Well, both of us in different parts of the nation started hanging around with different carnivals, meeting people, finding characters. If you're a writer, one of the things you have to do is the first thing I tell people is you have to read quite bad, but then you have to go searching out these people. They're not come to you, man. You know, that sword swallower is not going to just come walking up to your front porch and say, hey, let's spend some time together. Ain't nothing but trouble. Ain't nothing but trouble knocking at my door. So, what we realized was that in order to be a good carny, you had to be a good blues man, which means yesterday was Igor Stravinsky's birthday. I don't know if you know what his famous quote was. He said, your average artist will borrow from other artists, but your great artist will steal from them. I love Stravinsky. And that's all the old blues guy did, stole from each other. Flat out stole, I mean, and just barefaced look you right square in the face and say, that's my song. This is a song that Townes Van Zandt stole from Lightning Hopkins. I mean, he flat stole it from him. And I'm proud to say that I got to spend 8 years of my life on and off playing bass with Lightning Hopkins. And boy, did I learn something. I learned how to steal. So when Townes stole this song from Lightning, I heard it and I said, well, now, I wonder what it would sound like if I stole it from both of them and played it like Fred McDowell, Mississippi Fred McDowell might play it. I wonder how that would sound. Well, the rest is history. Well, I got this brand new companion, and I'm really gonna try to do right this time. Yeah, I got this brand new companion, see, and I'm really gonna try to do my best this time. The way she kills me with her breeze, the way she drinks me like a bottle of wine, the way she chases away all them old howling bottles of wine. Well, she fits just about like my guitar, and she's near about as tall as me. Well, she fits just about like my guitar does, and she's near about as tall as me. Well, she lived way up on the D train, but man, she's Texas as can be. Yeah, she is. Here she comes. Here she comes now. This woman got a homespun disposition, and she's just about as gentle as you please. This woman got a homespun disposition, boy, girl, she got somebody just about as gentle as you ever want to please. She got arms like two rattlesnakes, man, she got legs like willows in the creek. And she got arms like two rattlesnakes, and she got legs like willows in the creek. Careless chambermaid, what's she done with my perfume? Where's my hat now and get your fingers out that little girl mouth. Boy, you better get your fingers out that little girl mouth. Little Johnny Piper outside the house. Then Mama said, get your fingers out there, boy. You better get your fingers out there. What's wrong with you? Get your fingers out there, little girl. Blouse. Say dirty, dirty as it is, mama. Dirty, dirty as it is. Dirty, dirty, but it's alright with me. Say dirty, dirty, clean it up in here. Dirty, dirty, clean it up, clean it up. Dirty, dirty, clean it up in here. Dirty, dirty, clean it up. Well, see, I ain't never been that good in Sunday school. I kept getting hit by the golden rule. Everybody said they thought I was a little bit dirty. I said, yeah, I am. I am. You're not too far off the mark on that one. I am a little bit dirty, but you know what, Mr. Sunday School Man? I've been looking at you, and I think that you are a little bit dirty too, Mr. Sunday School Man. Hey, Father. Father. Let me ask you something there, Father. Is that tassel over you wearing there, Father? Is that a brand new smoking jacket you got on there? Is that some new cologne you wearing there, Father? Hey, Father. Hey, Father. Is that a pinky ring you're wearing, Father? Is that a little pinky ring you're wearing there, Father? Dirty, dirty little man. Bet you didn't even wash your hands. You a dirty, dirty little man. Clean it up. Clean it up. Clean it up, yeah. Clean it up. Dirty, dirty little bastard. Dirty, dirty little man. Dirty, dirty little bastard. Dirty, dirty little man. You see, I done told y'all one time. How I got this brand new compare. My grandmother used to ask me, she used to say, do you have to play that chord, that particular chord? I said, yes, ma'am, I do. And she said, why? And I said, because if I pull it too far down here, it hurts when I play. And she says, well, go ahead then. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So I got this brand new companion. And I'm really going to try to do right this time. Yeah, I got this brand new companion. She drinks me like a bottle of wine. She chases away all them old howling bottles of wine. I really appreciate you being here tonight, and I can't say enough about the kindness and my host. Just appreciate very much. I've got a room to myself back there that I can't get in trouble.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I can, yeah. I'd have to make a few calls, but I could get in trouble back there. I want to play this song. I haven't played this one, I don't think, since maybe even when I was here last year. I played it maybe the last time. But it just always seems like a good place to play it. Whew. I don't have to look that bad today. I'll go to cider. You can always tell when somebody's lying to you when they give up wine and go to cider. You can't believe a thing they say after that point. I'll tell you it's about the. Could I have a cold beer? Since I'm giving up the wine for the next half an hour.
That didn't last long.
It doesn't matter. Oh, sure. I'm fully clothed and of sound mind. What else could you ask for? Cold beer. No, I don't need a glass, man. No, I'm not from Vermont.
Good old Texas boy.
Thanks, brother. Here's to you.
Cheers.
Wow, man. I need to make a couple of calls and get in trouble. You know, I'm trying something. And I just don't know, really. I guess I could blow a lot of smoke. But that's what you do, and get paid very well. But I think if I were to tell you the truth, I would say I'm not exactly sure how this operation comes together here. I know it's not mechanical. Seems to come from somewhere in your spine and your shoulders. And it also comes to what you may need. And I can tell you of a story in my life where this song here is the only song that I've ever known ever sang. I ain't listening to it say. I was scheduled to play on September the 15th, 2000. It was supposed to be me and John Jr. doing a song. Something happened on September 11th. One that sort of put a stop to all that business. But one thing John couldn't get out of Europe, and others couldn't, nobody wanted to do the show. Anyway. Well, we put it off, and Lacona called me and said, when are you leaving for Europe? I said, I have to be there on the 26th. And he says, can you play on the 25th, which is my birthday, September 25th, my birthday. So although no one still didn't want to do a show, didn't feel like they wanted to do one. We put it together. The band showed up with me. I played with the full. The band was pretty drunk. I myself was in perfect condition. Anyway, we got through it, and I think we did a pretty good job. I had to leave the next day to go down to Nashville, Tennessee. We were talking about Kelly Jo Phelps earlier. I was to do Live at the Bluebird with Kelly Phelps and Steve Earle and Greg Trooper. It took almost 2 hours to shoot that show, to get 30 minutes of film. It was, I think it's hot in here. This is a breeze. Just out of habit, I reach over there. So I did the show in Nashville that night. I had to get immediately finish that. Say goodbye to Kelly Phelps and Steve Earle and my friend Trooper. And I had to drive back to Atlanta and try to make a plane for Europe the next day. Well, I got back to the bed and breakfast where I took a quick bath in a copper bathtub. And I tried to make the plane and I missed it. So I had to leave out the next day. And I arrived in Amsterdam with 45 minutes to walk into the stage of Paradiso. And I was one of the great American unwashed who walked into that stage. I could smell myself all the way to Heidelberg. And I walked down the stage and the first time in my life. And many of you in the audience will find this hard to believe, but I didn't have anything to say. I was done. Completely baked. I couldn't remember anything. I didn't even know how to say hello. 2,000 people sitting out there. And I had done this song one other time. The only time I'd ever sung this song was with my friend David Olney, Ian Matthews, me. Anyway, this was the only song that I could remember. So this is what I started with. To sing along. Sing with anything you want to. I mean, I'd love it if you would. say that everything can be replaced. They say how every distance is not near. Man, I remember everything. Of any man that's ever been. And I see my light come shine, shine from the west down to the east. They say how every man needs protection. And they say how every man must fall. Well, I swear by my reflection, from this place so high up on this wall, that I see my light come shine, shine from the west down to the east. Any day now, anyway now, well, I shall believe. Well, standing next to me in this lonely room, there's a man to lay. All day long I hear him shout so loud, crying out. I see my light come shining, shine, shine from the west down to the day now. And anyway now, I shall believe. They say that everything can be replaced. It's how every distance. Man, I remember everything. Of every man that's ever put me here. I see my light shine from the west down to day now. Anyway, now. Gonna be relieved. I'm just gonna be relieved. Gonna be relieved. Thanks, Bob.